Now, Mr. Abubakr, you have 20 minutes for your presentation and 5 minutes for questions and comments.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Good morning. I am glad actually to be here talking in front of my teachers and my colleagues of English teaching field. Today actually is the second day of the conference of English teachers about the new trends of teaching English in the world. Actually, I thank Mr. Ahmed Hamzi for inviting me to speak in front of you since 1 month, and I also would like to thank Farasan Central Education for their efforts to make this beautiful meeting. Actually, the first day I went to my school, secondary school, معلمي جبل, I met with a teacher, a foreigner teacher, whose name is Mr. Koka, Mr. Mustafa Koka. I asked him a question. Mr. Koka, which language method teaching are you using now in the school? Actually, he is a very experienced English teacher in Jazan at that time. He said, look, I don't have a special answer for this question, but when you teach English during the days, you will know what is the appropriate English method, what is the appropriate method for teaching English. I said, thank you. Since that time, I am trying to find the best method for teaching English as a foreign language here in Saudi Arabia, and especially here in Jazan, because I am working in Jazan. Then I went to Japan for 1.5 years for teacher training there. I met with Japanese English teachers in their schools, and I saw them working successfully actually by using all the new trends of teaching English in front of their students. Then I came back from Japan. I worked as a supervisor, then a head of education office in Jazan, in the central of Jazan. Then I worked as a head of equipment department. Then I worked as a supervisor of Tatweer, King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz's program for developing schools. And I am now a head of quality management and performance measurement. Actually, I am here today to make, of course, because I am an English teacher, and also to make the connection between the quality department and teaching English. How can we teach English? How can we improve our English language, and how can we improve our English teaching methodology by using the new trends of English, of teaching English? Actually, the title of my presentation, yes, it is a presentation. It is not a paper yet, but the title is the impact of professional learning communities in front on English language teachers' performance. So I will give the definition of the BLC and the attributes of the BLC and the basic principles of working with the BLCs and monitoring the BLCs and teachers. I will show also the benefit of teachers by using the BLC trend, and I will also talk about how to process the BLCs, and I will tell you what is the starting point of using the professional community learning. Also, I will show the impact. The questions, actually, we came here to this meeting, we ask, and we have in our mind some questions like, what can we do, or how can we do the best in teaching English? Everybody came here and this question in his mind. How can we do the best in teaching English language? And how can we change from good to great teachers? How can we change ourselves from good teachers to great teachers? And how can we increase teaching performance quality in front of our students to help them to learn English? And how can we help encourage and develop students' learning? All these questions must be there in your minds, because we as teachers must help our students to know and to study and to learn and to perform successfully the English language. When we give our students the abilities to speak English and to write English and to understand English, it means that we are giving them the key to the world, to the knowledge world, to the new invention in the world, so they can open the website, open the internet, open anything they want. And how can we reach the great stage of teaching? How can we reach the good quality of performance? I can tell you that Mr. Stephen Covey said, if you want to change from good to great, you need to thrive, you need to do your best. These thriving and growing and innovating in your field, we call it continuous self-development. What is the meaning of continuous self-development? It means that you always get new things to improve yourself and to improve the teaching methods that you are using in front of your teachers, in front of your students. Why? To develop your competence, your teaching competencies. And why also? In order to meet our students' needs. What are the students' needs? The students' needs, they want to learn English. They want to learn the subject that you are teaching. Of course, somebody say or will say that, okay, we are now studying and now we are planning and we are performing and we are assessing. What is the new thing that you are talking about? What is the new tool or the new trend that you want us to know and you want us to understand and you want us to change to? Yes, there is something called professional learning community. Everybody, I think, since yesterday have heard about this in between the words of the speakers. They said about it, about enlarging your knowledge, enlarging your skills, enlarging your abilities to do your job as an English teacher. Actually, when we talk about the BLC, I remember the Japanese Ishikawa. The Japanese Ishikawa is a writer. He writes about administration, administrative works, about companies, about the job of factories. They started before 1960s in Japan what we call the quality circles. The quality circles helped them to improve their production, their factory production. They jumped very high in the economy. Why? Because of the quality circles. What we mean by the quality circles, a group of people meet together and to improve the thing that they are producing, the thing that they are doing. And I saw by my eyes there in Japan these quality circles, even in schools. They are doing the quality circles, but they modified this idiom and brought it from factories to the world of education. They call it now a professional learning communities, which will help us to improve our teaching qualities, our teaching performance in front of our students, and to help them. Why should my police? Why should we? And also BLC will help to exchange what we call the BCK. What is the BCK? BCK is the pedagogical content, pedagogical content knowledge. It is within everyday school happening. Day to day we have learned the BCK. The professional learning community will help teachers to exchange the BCK and will help them to improve their job. And now maybe you are asking, what is BLC? What are you talking about? We want to know the definition of the BLC. Well, the Wikipedia says that the BLC is a professional learning community, is a method to foster collaborative learning among colleagues within decisions for seeking the students' learning and exchange colleagues, exchange the experience between colleagues, and supports the school to improve teaching and learning. The second attribute is collective creativity, builds good plans for teaching and learning. Creativity and teaching, it joins between creativity and teaching and makes you get the use of others' opinions and others' creative ideas. Studies teaching and learning problems to get solutions. Yes, inside or within the professional learning communities, we study the teaching problems and to get the solutions to improve our teaching. Also, shared value and vision. While we are using the professional learning communities, we share our vision. We agree to have one vision for teaching English inside the schools to help our students to learn. So this vision must go also to our students, to tell them that this is our vision for you. Please help us to perform this and accomplish this vision. Also, we have fourth attribute is shared personal practice inside the classroom. Yes, we have, when we talk about learning communities, we can exchange our teaching methodologies and our teaching values and our teaching tools to help each other to improve our teaching. And look, beside that or those attributes, we have one important thing, that teachers' mission is not to ensure that students are being taught, but also they must ensure that students are learning. We have to know that our students must learn while we are teaching. Don't just give the class, then go outside without knowing that students learning or not learning. We have 4 basic principles for the BLCs. Sharing vision. The first principle is sharing vision and goals. The second one is focus on students' learning. The third one is collaboration. The fourth one is focus on outcomes. What is the meaning of sharing vision and mission? It means that everyone must know and understand the vision and mission. Everyone, I mean the teachers of English and our students must know the vision that we are fighting to accomplish, and the mission also. And what do we mean when we say focus on students' learning? We mean that we must ask these questions. What should students learn? What is the best method to teach them? And how can we know that students are learning? And what should we do when they are learning? Work item, when we say collaboration, it means work in teams, think and decide together, communicate, learn and create. This is the collaboration. And when we say focus on outcomes, it means we must focus on the students' result, not to say it is good or bad, but to give them assistance and support to improve their learning way or their learning levels. And what shall we do? What shall we do within the BLC? When we use the BLC, the professional learning communities, what shall we do? First of all, we must have a vision. Second, we must be proactive. Third, we must put the first thing first. Then we must be collaborative and we must understand ourselves to be understood by others. And we must make a plan for the BLC and prepare ourselves for being in the BLC as a member of development inside the school. How shall we manage the BLCs? First of all, we must have a goal, a vision, an aim. Then we must discuss approaches to reach or to answer the question of how can we reach this goal? How can we reach this aim? And also, the third step is to perform the approaches that we agreed to do. And then the circle goes. Do we assess our performance? Then we change the goals until we reach the vision that we are striking. Because of the time, he's telling me that time is finished. But I want to tell you that there is a study. So why we need to use the BLC? Why? There is a study made in 1995 with Lee Smith and Kroniger as researchers with the Center on Organization and Restructuring of School, just like what we have in Tatweer now. They studied 820 schools, secondary schools. Those schools are characterized by the BLCs. It means they are using the professional learning communities. And also with 11,000 students. The staff worked together. The staff of those schools worked together and they changed their classroom practice. What was the result? The result is the teachers used the new technologies to engage students in high intellectual learning task. In high intellectual learning task. What happened? Students achieved greater academic gains in subject. They achieved greater academic than before. So why? Because the staff and the students were committed. Look and listen, please. The staff and the teachers are joined together to what? To accomplish the vision of learning English. And also, the staff members saw themselves as responsible for the total development of the students, and shared a collaborative and shared responsibilities for the success of the student. They shared the responsibility for the success of the students. Why? Because they are using, or they use the BLC, the professional learning communities inside the classroom to achieve their job as teachers of English. What is the start point? What is the starting point? Maybe somebody will ask me, how can we start? Okay, how can we start the BLC? First of all, you must have the will. Second, you must have a team inside your school. If you are one teacher, a school with one teacher, you can join the PLCs of the AIN portal, the AIN website. We have a website under the patronage of Ministry of Education. It calls AIN portal. Inside AIN, as you can see, it is written in Arabic. As you can see, مجتمعات التعلم المهنية, the professional learning communities, and you can join the English professional learning community. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ahmed, thank you so much for your great and outstanding presentation.
نشكر